Hey everyone, welcome to the Electric Supercar channel. This week we're going to be talking about gauges. For a lot of the vehicles we do, like this Porsche or the Nissan, we are doing things that are going to require new gauges. One name that I always think of when I think of gauges, especially analog gauges, is Speedhut. So I was at SEMA last year and I actually ran into Speedhut in one of their booths. We got to talking because I thought, hey, this is going to be a great partnership because I need these sorts of gauges all the time. And what I didn't know is they are actually located very near me. So today we'll show you how they're made and we'll install them and get them working. Let's get to it. So I thought the perfect case for these gauges would be the Porsche. The Porsche's kind of got that old vintage look, and I thought what better way to try out Speedhut gauges than on this Porsche. For those of you new to the channel, this is a 1977 Porsche 911 Targa, and we spent the last several months electrifying it. And that's one of the main reasons why we need these gauges, because the original gauges wouldn't work with the system anymore. So I asked if I could come visit their factory, and they said sure. So let me take you on a quick tour. Hey everybody, we are at Speedhut. We are going to get some new gauges, and I'd love to kind of take you behind the scenes. First stop is the process of electronics. These little circuit boards are basically the brains of the gauge. These are actually designed and built right here in the US, one gauge at a time. One thing a lot of people don't realize is the huge number of custom gauges you see in hot rods, race cars, restomods, all come from one place, Speedhut. Every gauge that leaves this building is built to order. So when someone designs a gauge on their website, choosing colors, the font, the logo, even the lighting, that order ends up right here on the production floor. This is the time where you reach in with your arm, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. These little circuit boards are what read the signal from your car, things like speed, RPM, oil pressure, for our case, battery temp, motor temp, and translate it into smooth needle movement you see on the dash.
The stepper motor and the connectors, the varistors.
That's the little dial right there?
Yeah, so that's for the pointer movement.
Okay.
So this is all ready to go as far as being put into an order. Yeah.
Are there any standard orders, or is everything custom?
Everything's custom.
Everything's custom.
We don't keep anything on the shelf because...
So this is what you keep on the shelf?
This is what we keep on the shelf,
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because there's so many variables as far as pointers and bezels and dials that a customer can choose from that it's just like impossible to I mean, we have thousands of SKUs and thousands of different ways you can do certain things and stuff.
Automated equipment and stuff, we did that like all the time.
Oh,
so yeah, I'm always like, okay, cool, how's this work?
Oh yeah. So yeah, I'll press it here. Back. So yeah, so now it's on there. Don't have to worry about it falling off. Blue one.
Okay, so these are all the pointers.
Yeah, and then they also have different types of caps. So you can do like a chrome looking one. You can have like, this is what we call the black blade one. But then there's also like a standard black where there's no tail hanging out. So it's like...
And speaking of needles, every one of them actually gets calibrated. That might not sound exciting, but if you've ever driven a car with a speedometer that says you're going 60 when you're actually doing 73, you'll appreciate why this step matters.
We'll input the signal into it to make sure it goes to full, to make sure it goes to half, and then ampere. There's already preset calibrations on the field level.
Next up is one of my favorite parts of the process, making the gauge faces. These are laser cut and printed right here. That's how they can offer thousands of different combinations, different colors, different lighting, custom logos, even completely custom layouts. So if someone wants their gauge to match the exact color of their car or put their shop logo in the center, this is where that magic happens. Then everything moves over to final assembly. The faces, the electronics, the needle, the housing, all of it comes together into what eventually ends up in somebody's dashboard. And here's something kind of wild to think about. Every single one of these gauges is going into a different vehicle somewhere in the world. Could be a classic Mustang, a rock crawler, a race car, or someone's crazy engine swap project. So this factory isn't just making gauges, it's basically supplying the dashboards for thousands of custom builds. So you got chrome, black.
Yeah.
So we have nice.
So the LEDs are right there on the...
Okay, right next to it.
Once I power it on, it already...
So that would be a red one.
Yeah, it would be a
red one. And the white is like the backlit gauge or whatever you want to call it?
To light up the gauge, yeah. So if the customer ordered a blue pointer, then these would be blue.
Oh, that looks nice.
So you can kind of see what they ordered and make sure they have the proper kit. So this is a CNG pressure gauge that's 0 to 4,000.
And this is like a harness
So
Just for the gauge to whatever?
Yeah, so this one's a pressure harness. So this is for any of the pressure gauges that we offer. And then we have, this is the temperature one. It's a two signal wire one.
So this would be like a whole setup?
Yeah.
Once everything is tested and verified, it gets boxed up and shipped out, usually within just a few days of being ordered, which is pretty impressive considering most of these gauges didn't even exist yet a week earlier. So next time you see a clean gauge cluster in a custom build, there's a pretty good chance it started right here. For today's sponsor, we have ELE GRP. This is a portable EV charger. It's kind of a nice carrying case. A reliable and smart home charging station for electric vehicles. It delivers strong charging power with up to 40 amps, so your EV fills up faster than with a regular plug. That means more driving and less waiting. It works with all standard EVs that use the J1772 charging standard, including popular electric cars and plug-in hybrids.
All right, just about to install the Grip portable EV charger. I'm gonna install it on this wall here.
Installation is easy and flexible. You can mount it on your garage wall or outdoor area, and it's weather resistant, ready for everyday use in the driveway or carport. The charger is safe and certified, built with advanced technology that protects against overheating, overcurrent, short circuits, and other electrical issues, giving you peace of mind every time you charge. You can adjust the power level to match your home and vehicle needs. It also has a clear LED status light, so you always know when your car is charging, fully charged, or paused. This charger helps you save money by powering up at home, especially during off-peak hours when electricity is cheaper. With the LGRP EV charger at home, charging becomes simple, fast, and worry-free. If you haven't upgraded your home charging yet, now is the time to get the ELE GRP EV charger and make every drive stress-free. All right, look what we got today. Speedhut, right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I think. There, this is arranged how the customer would like it. So the Porsche's got 5 different kind of gauge spot openings, and these are the gauges we're going to use. So on an electric vehicle, we don't have the same gauges. So let me show you what we've got. For the center gauge, this is a speedometer, so 0 to 160, and built in, it's also got turn signals, so left and right. This is for brights, so like if your bright lights are on, that'll go. So that's kind of what this is, and this is also an odometer with a trip, so you can kind of press that for your trip. Over here, to the left, we've got amps. With the blue car, I've been able to get up to about 1100 or so amps. So again, this car should do the same. It's got the same motor. And then you'll notice it also goes to -2. So that's when you're in regen mode, you can also look at that. The far left, this is our temperature gauge. This has both battery temperature, it's like our pack temperature, as well as our motor temperature. To the right, we've got, this is our, call it our state of charge, kind of like a gas gauge. So this is how much remaining you've got, so 0 to 100. And then the far right, we've got a clock. So got lots of nice gauges. Let's open them up and get them installed. All these systems operate on a CAN circuit. So CAN stands for a controller area network, and basically this is a 2-wire system where it's able to pass information back and forth. All right, so the things we have on this CAN system, we've got right here, we've got the motor. This is the onboard charger that also has CAN. And back there is our motor controller that also has CAN. The other system we have that has CAN is the battery management system, which is in here. And now all these gauges have CAN. Usually I like to keep the motor and motor controller on one network. So basically that it doesn't have any opportunity to get conflicting information or whatever, so it's just kind of standalone. We're gonna set up other CAN circuits to handle all the rest of the information. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up, I'm gonna call it CAN 2, that's gonna gather all the information and pass it to the vehicle control unit. The vehicle control unit is gonna take that information from the battery management system as well as the motor, and then it's gonna all output it on one channel. We're gonna call that CAN 3 to go to the gauges. That way there's not gonna be different conflicting information if the motor controller is telling it, hey, battery state of charge is this, and the battery management system saying, no, it's really this. That way the VCU can take all that information and give it just one set of information, and we won't have any conflicts. All right, so what that means is we need to do some wiring. We got lots of wiring here, but we're gonna wire up gauges. We also have to make those 2 CAN circuits Again, all those information coming to the VCU and then one coming from the VCU to those gauges.
All right, so we're putting the gauges into the Porsche. We've got them set in there right now. We need to make some trim rings for them that will allow them to be cinched into the hole. There's different diameters that we're working with, and the gauges are either slightly smaller. Well, the outer two are right, but the inside three need to be. We need to make some 3D printed centering bezels. But for now, we're gonna power these up. Constant power for the clock, and then switched power for the gauges themselves, and then backlighting, and then the CAN bus. And then I gotta test CAN and see if I can make some of these gauges do things. So that's exciting for me.
Let's see if these turn on. They all do a sweep. That's amazing.
All right, so we've got these kind of just loosely in place right now, but basically all these gauges are going to need inputs to get them to work properly. So over here we have a clock. That's not really going to need anything. We can set it with this one. This is state of charge. So we're going to get this one from the battery management system. This is the speedometer, so we're going to get this one from the motor controller or the VCU. Over here we've got amps. We're also going to get that one from the motor controller. Here we've got a mix. We've got battery temp and motor temp. So one of those is coming from the battery management system. The other one is coming from the VCU or motor controller. All right, so we're trying to see if we can. Okay, so we got the back wheels moving.
So now we're getting low amps.
Yeah, I see it moving, right? So if you go little throttle, so yeah, see
It's going
moving.
opposite.
Opposite?
Yeah, it went to negative more.
So give it a little goose, just a little bit. Yeah, it's going down. Okay.
But we did get speed, so that's not GPS.
Okay, let's see speed. Okay. On our plug-in. So basically, we've got this plug-in that will help us navigate all the things that we need to do for all the gauges. So what we've got working now, it seems like we've got motor temp, which we never had before. So that's on the right here. We've got amps, but it's backwards. So when we give it a little goose, it goes down instead of up. Speedometer seems to kind of work. Again, we'll probably have to dial that in for our tire size. The state of charge was working. Now it's not. Got to figure out a few things. We did some code manipulation with some help from ChatGPT, but we've got now the state of charge working. So I think next is figuring out the amps, getting the amps going in the right direction. So we're gonna see if we made any progress on the amp. It's not working at all now. All right, so now we're trying amps. Yeah, that's looking good. All right, so basically we just had to put a little minus sign right there on the amps, and that flipped the gauge direction. So now I believe we got all the gauges working. There's your battery and motor temp. We'll come back to amps in a second. Same thing with speedometer. But yeah, there's your state of charge and your clock. This is how you can change the clock. All right, so you see wheels are spinning. So we got just a few amps if I give it a little gas. And then same thing here with the speedometer. So we'll have to do some driving around to get that dialed in. That was success. We got the gauges installed. I even got to take you behind the scenes to show you how they're made. Gets us that much closer. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.
Okay, so I'm going to name my stripper Candy with a K.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I did bring a coping pocket cookie.